my word. This is extraordinary. It could be through here. Oh, my... It's a whole secret island. It's everything I've ever desired. This is fantastic. I'm in heaven. Ooh, how did you get in here? Mummy, I'm scared. Time is 7:32. Tonight, going to be doing bird at Her Majesty's pleasure with bad girl Antonia Acoma's with us. Took a while. And you pretty lady. And writer, presenter, all-round hoaxer and bad boy, but nice guy, Danny Wallace is with us. Hello. Danny, before we kick off the show, my friends, as we always do, a little bit of big news. Get out! Oh, it's all task-related today with the pleasures of the prison task. Oh, it racks Pete with guilt, so when Big Brother offered a chance to a parole last night at 10:54, he managed a great escape. Take a look at this.
As Pete's best friend, you will now take his place and become a prisoner.
Oh, fantastic. I get to sleep. Brilliant. I'm joining you. You get to go free.
Yeah! Look at him! I love the little rap then. He's a manner. Sorry, Warden Howard. But whilst Pete settles into authority, the other officers aren't coping quite so well. At 7:58 this morning, it looked like one of them was a bad tab. Take a look at this.
Do you know something? I actually don't even think a luxury budget is enough to actually compensate for this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. To me, the lack of sleep, I prefer to stick to chickpea because the luxury one is not enough to compensate the lack of sleep. Yeah. But I'm sorry, I don't know about you, but I don't consider £4 a head a luxury. I'm just going to put a cushion and duvet down here and I'm keeping during my whole shift. I don't care. I'm not having any more of it, I'm sorry. I've got to that point now. I don't care.
Yeah. Yes, Suze, you fight the power. And lastly, Pete is no longer a prisoner, which means, and he didn't think about this, he's not entitled to prison perks anymore, including, tier fans, a letter from his family. At 5:24 this afternoon, the realisation they hit home. Take a tearful look at this.
Pete, do you have any regrets about making a plea for parole?
What do you think? The no letter thing. Because I forgot that.
Pete, why is it so important for you to see the letter?
It'll be like it'll be like getting a hug from home. That's what I mean.
Oh, he's turned it around again. He's popular. That, my friends, was Little Brother's big news. Oh, brilliant! The prison task started on Tuesday when Ashleen, Glyn, Imogen, Pete and Spiral were banged up in B-Wing, and Jenny, Michael, Mikey, Richard and Susie aspired to the dizzy heights of prison wardens. But have the prison warden uniforms sent authoritarian power rushing to their heads, or does the balance of power lie with the prisoners and their secret room? With that in mind, today's cool BBLB could only be who wears the trousers. Here's to get in touch. Hey you, call BBLB on 09911 101 101. Or text us. Text studio and your comment to 83188. Or email us at bblb@channel4.com. Tonight, BBLB is harbouring a fugitive. An HMP's Larkle G-Wing is, yes, you're right, is missing an inmate. There might be a reward out on her. Bad girl Antonia Acoma's here, everyone. How are you, Antonia? It's lovely to meet you properly.
Likewise.
Now, Now, you play prisoner Darlene Clark in Bad Girls. How well are our house... Darlene Cake, sorry. It's just, I looked down, I've made the mistake twice now.
No, it's fine.
In rehearsal, I looked down and it's just funny to find a person called Cake.
I know.
Anyway, you play her in Bad Girls. How well are the housemates adapting to their roles as prisoners and wardens?
I think they're all getting on quite well.
A bit too well?
I think Michael maybe a little bit too well.
Okay.
He does remind me of a few of the wardens that take their jobs a little bit too seriously. But I'm loving him for that. I think that's brilliant.
He's getting into it, isn't he?
He is.
What do you think of the prison twist? Is it cruel on the wardens or is it fair game?
I say fair game. Probably because I play an inmate in Bad Girls, and if we had a chance to kind of live in a really like paradise-type place as opposed to G-Wing, we'd jump at the chance.
You'd be straight in there, wouldn't you?
Definitely. Fair game.
Do you have that little mentality when you're acting that you just it is all about hoarding and you know?
Well, naturally, because real prisoners don't have those kind of privileges, and they're things that you would take for granted unless you've been in that position.
The crime rate would soar, wouldn't it?
Definitely.
OK, let's have a look at a few clips so far.
Oh, God. My shoelace is untied. Would you tie that up for me, please, Prisoner Spiral? Thank you. Nice and tight.
Oh, he's down there.
Good, isn't he? I'll give you extra special preferential treatment later on.
I feel powerful, I feel in command, ready to kick some scum next door.
Gather round, punks. You do the crime, you serve the time.
Oh, no.
You weren't smiling, were you? Not smiling now, are you? You understand? What's so funny, Miss Ashley?
Nothing, sir. Nothing, sir.
Exactly. Nothing what?
Nothing, sir.
Nothing what?
Sir.
Exactly.
He has got a touch of the cool hand Luke about him, as Michael, doesn't he? He's loving it a little bit too much. So who would you... Just back to that, the housemates themselves. Who would you like to be locked up in the house with?
That's a really odd question. To be honest, I probably couldn't take any of them. I could deal with each of them in really small doses.
But the show don't work like that.
No, I know.
You're in the jail with them inside
I know.
the house. So who's your fave, then, with that in mind?
As much as I'm loving Glyn and his innocence, he really does make me laugh, I still have to go for Pete. I know, it's
No,
really
not like
boring.
R as in, like R as in,
Yeah, because he really is a genuinely, like...
I didn't know what that R was, and I wasn't provoking you. So why Pete? What do you love about him so much?
He's just himself, and that's what I think people like about him.
Has he been your favourite since day one?
To be honest, I've not followed it since day one. I know that's really bad. But from what I've seen of the show, I'm just loving him because he's so kind of natural and he...
Yeah, thanks for tone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. No, it's good.
And I like him, not because he's done anything in particular, but because he's just a really cool good...
OK,
really
so
cool
you play a very scary young lady in Bad Girls.
I do.
But to be fair, I read quite a lot about her, and she was only put in a very bad situation. So she's only in there because she's had a bit of aggro, but she's not a bad girl, is she? She's just a bad girl.
Yeah, well, she carved someone's face with a pint glass.
Yes.
And I shouldn't say, actually. I was going to say something really bad.
That is a bad... She's a bad girl.
Yeah,
but which of the housemates wouldn't you want to mix with?
What, as my character, I think Darlene would take any of them on, to be honest.
No way!
Oh, yeah, she'd have a field day in the house.
Even Imogen?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
OK, but as yourself?
As myself, I think each and every one of them would actually grate on me after a period of time.
OK.
Honestly
Lastly,
speaking.
who are you backing to win? I know the answer to this, surely.
Yeah, Glyn's lovely, but it has to be
It's going to be
Pete.
Pete. Antonio, everyone!
Loving that.
That worked really, really well. These tasks, they don't make themselves, you know. Like the prison wardens, the task team have got their jobs to do. It's not easy keeping a work in prison up and running. Here's a quick look behind the scenes. Take a look.
Today we have been setting for the task, which was a padlock task. It took 5 people about 4 hours to get all the padlocks out of their boxes, separate the keys.
399.
Slightly frantic at one point because we could only find 399 keys, but the last one turned up, so all good. And then we had to very quickly set the roam area and replace all the pampering products with a whole new raft of pampering products. The ice cream machine was obviously quite a big job, which our design team did very well. The brief was just to make it look a bit more rustic. The most stressful thing is when you have the people in the gallery saying you have 2 minutes before the housemates are going to come through, you need to get out, and you have to make really sure that there's none of your stuff, no clipboards, no headsets, no anything left in the area, and just get the hell out of there and make sure everything looks great.
Always loving the task team. Thanks to Phil and the gang. After the break, we'll be escaping the shackles and making a bid for freedom with William. Danny Wallace is here! That Jane, she needs locking up with all her rule breaking. Let me tell you. For example, take a look at this.
I won't do it again, I promise, sorry.
Welcome back to Big Brother's Little Brother, day 71. The time is 7:47. Join me in welcoming King of Lovely, Danny Wallace.
Oh! All right.
How are you, Danny? Nice to have you with us.
Thank you very
You're
much.
a massive fan of the show. It's a big hit in your household, I've been told.
It is a big hit in my household.
How come?
Well, because it's Big Brother. You can't, you know, you end up getting sucked in whatever happens.
And in your household?
And in my household...
Because?
Oh, yeah, no, my missus works on the show.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, not
We
odd.
didn't know that till about an hour ago.
Yeah.
It's just me that thinks that's funny. It's just me that thinks that's funny. Sorry, Danny. The housemates are paired up this week. What do you think of the choice of partners?
Well, I think Richard's done pretty well for himself. You know, I don't know if he's playing a canny game or whether he just, you know, loves Pete, but I think, you know, Pete may have rescued Richard.
He seems to have got closer to Pete more recently, doesn't he, in the last couple of weeks?
Yes.
Do you think that he knew something was going to happen when they said pick best friends, and he thought, if I'm with Pete, then...
Hey, look, it's your theory.
It's not my theory.
That's your conspiracy theory, and you can stick to it. No, I don't know. I guess that Pete is the kind of guy that after a while, you'd want to be around him. If you faced all these people that you're getting a bit annoyed with, you would probably gravitate towards Pete. But you're beginning to convince me with your evil ways.
He's a safe choice, though, isn't he? If you knew that something's going to happen with this task, if I know I'm with Pete, then...
Yes, absolutely. I think he's a lot safer than some of the others on your list.
Double eviction this week. Who do you want to go?
If Michael and Spiral are not evicted this week, I will personally ensure there is never another series of Big Brother anywhere in the world.
That's extraordinary.
Albania can kiss goodbye to the Albanian Dermot O'Leary. That's all I'm saying.
Don't make Albania kiss goodbye to me. That'd be awful. Why? What is it about Michael and Spiral?
Well, there's so many different reasons. Spiral's raps, for one thing. I have to say I'm not a massive fan of his musical stylings.
Well, it's funny you said that, because we prepared this especially for you. Take a look.
When was the last time you had a girlfriend?
Never had a serious relationship, Richard.
No, you're kidding me.
No, I had one like for 2 months, that was the most or something. I think I'm losing today.
Jane, Jen and Michael haven't been evicted, which is great. They're next door living it up, wrecking the place. See, I left out annoying.
I mean, I just can't do it with these stupid things. Now, I can't do it. It's wrecking me head.
One moment. Did you capture it?
What's up with you? How are you, yeah? Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next level. The dance floor is jam-packed, hotter than a tea kettle. I break it for you down.
Do you want a compliment?
Mint.
I'll give you a compliment.
For sure. Let's keep it the pace, Big Brother in your face.
One question, deal or no deal? That's a wrap.
Nice. Firstly, what do we... Oh, it's a stinker.
I'm a little bit disturbed.
OK. What is it about Spiral and Michael that you don't like?
Well, Spiral, things like that, you know, he's passive-aggressive, then he's very aggressive. The rapping is... What's that rap that he sort of constantly does that's kind of, I do everything to you?
Yeah.
And I find that one of the most intimidating and frightening. I swear, it puts the fear of God into me every time. Because I just think that's part of the reason why I hasn't had a long-term girlfriend or anything. Like, imagine being on a first date with
date with that, wouldn't
it?
it?
Yeah, it's just, and you'd just be going, you'll do anything. Please, if that includes leaving me alone forever, then you may continue.
Fine. OK, so what about Michael? What is it about Michael you don't like?
Well, again, quite a bit. But, I mean, last night, it was, an amazing show with the prisons and all that kind of stuff, and he really showed himself to be a little Hitler, I think. He was quite dictatorial. He seems to think that he's part of this Big Brother master race now with loads of power, and as far as I can tell, there isn't really any power there, apart from the power to look exceptionally gay.
Which he's grasping with both hands.
Yeah.
The prison task is, in fact, one huge host.
Just questions with you about Big Brother.
You're
obsessed.
There's about 2 more.
Every time I watch this show, you're just talking about Big Brother.
Did no one brief you as to what was going to happen? What do you think we're going to go on to?
Exactly.
It's obviously a big hoax. How do you think the prisoners are getting on?
They're doing very well, I think, and I think they'll continue to, but they have to work as a team. I think Ashleen's kind of been taking control of it, which is good, because they need someone to drive it and to make sure no one messes it up.
We're going to talk a little bit about Ashleen. You like Ashleen a lot, don't you?
I don't mind her. I think, I think she's had a bad rap of late.
Namely Spiral.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's had many bad raps. I also think that she's had this reputation for bitchiness, but it's mainly people bitching about her, and I think she's been quite straight down the line. The sort of the ghetto stuff annoys me slightly, but someone was saying earlier, in 20 years, every child will speak like that anyway.
She'll be like a forebearer, won't she?
Yeah, exactly.
There'll be statues of her in towns around the country.
Yeah.
People just saying, she was the person that started this whole
Little plaques that just say, you get me.
So, with that in mind, who are we backing?
Well, we're backing Ashleen.
Oh, we are backing Ashleen. The Wallace is backing Ashleen. Danny Wallace, everyone! Danny, these Lightbox grams are especially for you.
Spiral, how very dare you.
So, which 2 best friends are going to be walking the old Green Mile on Friday night? Who do you want to see released back into the community? And remember, you're voting to... Save! Thank you. These numbers go. Which pair stays, you decide. To save both Imogen and Susie, call 09911 32 33 21 or text pair 1 to 844 44. To save both Michael and Spiral, call 09911 32 33 22 or text pair 2 to 844 44. To save Pete and Richard, call 09911 32 33 23 or text pair 3 to 844 44. Remember, this week you are voting to save. Okie dokes, Danny and Antonio are still with us for today's Cool BBLB, which is who wears the trousers in the house at the moment. Peter from Newcastle upon Tyne first up. Hey, Peter.
Hey there, Dermot, how are you?
Yeah, not bad. What are your thoughts?
Oh, it's just such a brilliant task. Michael has been so funny. He's just relishing in this whole alpha male macho thing in a pink uniform.
Yes.
I mean, pink to make the boys wink and all that. But, I mean, he's loving the role. I thought last night he was so funny, a bit that you shared on the show just now, when he's, like, relishing in this, like, aggressive thing. But then Ashleen on the other side, she's totally ruling it. It's just like when she was there before. I'm in charge. The way she dips in with the chocolate thing was hysterical and telling everyone what to do.
Yeah.
But there's no Michael to stop her this time.
Now, Peter, do you think, with that in mind, that, I mean, obviously Ashleen's safe this week, but do you think Michael's doing himself any favours being like this, in terms of the fact that he's obviously up for eviction for tomorrow night?
It's easy for us, isn't it? Because we can see what a complete fool he's being, because what a great time they're having. But I don't know, I think it actually makes it quite funny. I think Michael's coming out of himself a little bit, but equally it is this, we're laughing at him, but we're laughing with him a bit as well, so it might help him a bit.
OK, do you think Michael can... I mean, you obviously want Spiral and Michael to go, but do you
I wouldn't mind.
How close do you think it's going to be between him and what looks like Susie and Imogen? Because no one's talking about Peter.
Well, Susie and Imogen, I think they're doing all right. They've kind of got this mother and daughter thing going along, which is nice. She's building the family. But Michael and Spiral, I think your caller there's absolutely right. He's not really doing himself many favours.
Thanks a lot, Peter.
No problem. Cheers now.
Good to have you on the show. Sarah from...
Hi, Dermot.
Sarah from Woohoo-land is with us as well.
Pardon?
Hello.
I love you. I want to come and see you.
Jackie's on line 3. Hey, Sarah. What do you reckon, Sarah?
Oh, totally, totally fantastic. It's one of the best yet. I just love Michael's power trip.
Yeah.
I was a bit disappointed when Pete and Rich swapped places, but I can't wait for it to be over because Richard is so going to wind Michael up so much, and it's going to be brilliant. Michael thinks he's got one over on Richard, and it's so totally the other way around, and I love it.
Well, we're talking a lot about Michael today, but he's up for eviction, so that's good. How do you think he's going to react when he finds out?
That he's up for eviction?
Well, no, about the whole Paradise thing.
He's not going to be happy, is he? And Richard's going to wind him up big time.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
Oh, thank you.
Lastly,
I love you.
Zowie Cavey. Were you in Captain Caveman, Sarah? Jackie from Manchester is now here. Hello, Jackie. How you doing, Jackie?
Ooh, Jackie.
You're all right.
Hiya, can you hear me?
Yeah, what do you reckon?
Great. Right, Susie, she just takes over everything.
Yes.
I mean, when the task was set, she turned around and said, I don't want to be an inmate. Straight away, she wanted to be a prison officer. Straight away, takes over everything.
Yeah.
You know, anything like, nothing can interfere with her making the tea, nothing can interfere with her making the special coffee, and Mikey as well. Oh, he drives me mad. It's not just this task, it's every task you get. Mike thinks he's the one in charge.
Right, listen, because obviously Mikey's not up for eviction, she's just bearing that in mind.
Yeah.
Susie and Imogen, do you think this is doing them any favours tomorrow, then?
Oh, Susie and Imogen, please do them too. I've got to go. I just can't stand it. That Imogen, the way she cried over them onions. It wasn't crying over the onions, it was crying because the cameras wasn't on her. I really...
Do you honestly think she wasn't crying? Because she had 1,000 onions to peel, didn't she?
I would have done it in 5 minutes. She couldn't even sew buttons on. I would have been able to sew all them buttons on in about 5 minutes myself.
OK, thank you, Jackie of Oniondom. What do we think of that? What do we think of Susie and Imogen's, the way they've done with this task and the chances of them going?
I'm not a big fan of Susie, I have to say. I do find her very tedious. Considering she spent that much, invested so much trying to get into the house. She's just there now, but she so needs to go home.
OK. Listen, that is pretty much all we have time for. Many thanks to Antonia and Danny. Watch the main show tonight, Channel 4, 10 o'clock. Switch straight over for Big Mouth and good old Dirty Russ. And we'll see you tomorrow for the double evictione, away, 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 as you were.